Testing, testing, testing. Okay, are we live? Are you marked? Get set, go. Okay, good afternoon, fans. This is the man in the black mask, and he's here to talk about how Ellen Page emerges as Elliot Page. Now, this is very interesting to me being a minority. Not transgender or nothing, but I'm a minority. And transgender people are classified as minority. So I'm sure every minority can attest to being discriminated against, especially in a school setting and all that. Or, in the legal system even, you know? So anyway, back to Ellen Page, Elliot Page. Okay, the man in the black mask, he's going to chat with every one of you about this. Oscar-nominated Umbrella Academy star Elliot Page announces he's transgender. Now, this is very interesting in its own right. Elliot Page, the Oscar-nominated star of Juno and Netflix's The Umbrella Academy, has announced he is transgender. Elliot, formerly known as Ellen Page, addressed his social media followers saying, "Hi friends, I want to share with you that I am trans. My pronouns are he, they, and my name is Elliot. I feel lucky to be writing this, to be here. I have arrived at this place in my life. I feel overwhelming gratitude for the incredible people who supported me along this journey. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self. I've been endlessly inspired by so many in the trans community. Thank you for your courage, your generosity, and ceaselessly working to make this world a more inclusive and compassionate place. I will offer whatever support I can and continue to strive for a more loving and equal society," he wrote. "I love that I am trans. I love that I am a queer. And the more I hold myself close and fully embrace who I am, the more I dream, the more my heart grows, and the more I thrive. To all the trans people who deal with harassment, self-loathing, and abuse, the threat of violence every day, I see you, I love you, and I will do everything I can to change this world for the better," Page continued. Yes, speaking of harassment, self-loathing, abuse, and the threat of violence, I'm sure a lot of us minorities can attest to this, both especially at school, at home, and even in jail, in the prison system, because a whole bunch of shit goes down in that field. Because I'm sure a lot of you, some of you have already been in prison and will do anything to keep from going back. You understand? Not a nice place for nobody. You understand? And speaking of Ellen Page, I remember the first time I saw her, Elliot Page, first time I saw him as Ellen Page, this was the movie Hard Candy. When she gets back at a would-be pedophile, played by Patrick Wilson. That's how I came to know Elliot Page, who was Ellen Page at the time. And then I saw Juno one day when it came out on video. Another terrific movie written by Diablo Cody, a former stripper turned screenwriter, and won the Oscar for original screenplay. Hooray! And then Ellen Page at the time received her Oscar nomination for Juno. It was her first. Good breakthrough, man. Juno, I think, was more successful than Hard Candy. And trust me, when I saw Hard Candy, my stomach cringed. Seeing Ellen Page kick ass in that film. Seeing her at the time get even with a pedophile. I gotta admit though, it was sick. That movie was sick, son. Like back to Page. Page uses both he, him, and they, them pronouns and describes himself as transgender and non-binary, meaning that his gender identity is neither man nor woman. Okay, that's okay. Nick Adams, GLAAD's director of transgender media, said Elliot Page has given us fantastic characters on screen and has been an outspoken advocate for all LGBTQ people. He will now be an inspiration to countless trans and non-binary people. All the transgender people deserve the chance to be ourselves and to be accepted for who we are. Something that we minorities lack today, being accepted for who we are, if not worth. People tend to challenge that in ways they shouldn't. We celebrate the remarkable Elliot Page today. Way to go, Elliot! Now, as I stated earlier, back to this article, man. Page broke out from his native Canada in 2005 with the revenge drama Hard Candy. I just told y'all about that movie earlier. 2 years later, he starred in Jason Reitman and Diablo Cody's landmark indie, Juno, for which Page received an Oscar nomination among other accolades. As I stated earlier, Diablo Cody won hers for original screenplay. And she went on to write Jennifer's Body, too. And what's this other one? Ricky and the Flash with Meryl Streep. Just name a few. His notable roles include Kitty Pryde in the X-Men series, Chris Nolan's Inception, With It, and Sony's rebooted Flatliners. Total piece of shit. I like the 1990 film better with Kiefer Sutherland and Julia Roberts. And that was directed by the late Joel Schumacher. God rest his soul, man. He identified as gay. He was gay, by the way. And I got nothing against gays and lesbians and trans. I respect everybody, okay? I just want us minorities to get the same respect that the next people are entitled to. We should be entitled to that too. But sadly, that's never happened. I don't know if it will, but I do admit, what we went through all these years was just total bullshit. You know? Elliot has produced and starred in films such as Tallulah and Freeheld, Julianne Moore. And last year marked his directorial debut, examining environmental racism faced by people of color and the First Nations communities of Canada. Prior to transition, Page was one of the most visible out gay actors in Hollywood. This Tuesday announcement further enriches his legacy and adds him to a small but growing number of out trans creators and stars in Hollywood. This includes performers Laverne Cox, who you know from Orange is the New Black, you know what I'm saying? Tracy Lizette, Brian Michael Smith, and the creators, the Wachowski brothers. Yeah, Laurie and Lana, who were back then known as Laurie and Andy. You know? You don't hear nothing about the Wachowski sisters nowadays. I didn't hear nothing about them since they did this piece of shit film called Cloud Atlas. I mean, that was just, to me, that was just way too fucking long. Ridley Scott made a similar statement regarding Blade Runner 2049, another box office flop. Last year, Variety broke the news of the groundbreaking overall content production deal that Netflix signed with Janet Mock, a noted trans storyteller and director of shows like Pose and Hollywood. Okay. Let the man in the black mask tell us how he feels about this one. I feel that every minority deserves respect, okay? And I feel nobody should be disrespected or persecuted because of their color, race, religion, or creed. Everyone is entitled to respect, something that we lack today, even in the Trump era, you know what I'm saying? And me being a special needs student, I could attest to being mistreated and everything else, by the school system and the criminal justice system, you know what I'm saying? When I caught the assault charge and got locked up one day, I gotta admit, you know what I'm saying, that the system itself is racist and discriminatory. The way I see it, they're all white supremacists and they're all ISIS people. They're all terrorists to me. Because I think they get rich. I think the system gets rich off black people dying or getting locked up. And I think they get rich off transgender people, either getting killed or worse, And I'm glad that Elliot Page came out and revealed himself for who he really is, if not what. I feel that he wanted to put on a brave face after what happened with the Jussie Smollett incident, when he staged his own assault and then tried to make it look like it was a hate crime. Nobody talks about that piece of shit no more. And most recently, the Laverne Cox incident from Orange is the New Black. Her and a friend were harassed on the street by a random stranger. And I think the man in the black mask personally thinks that Elliot Page used that as a window of opportunity to come out as trans. Okay? And I think she's a hero. I think he's a hero, by the way. I think Elliot Page is our hero of the day. Okay. I'm really hoping that he can help address the challenges that every minority faces today, particularly myself. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this COVID-19 age. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have a busted system, and that system needs to be fixed. Okay, because a lot of you are going to want your kids and grandkids to be treated normally, whether they have regular needs or special needs. They should not be discriminated against because they're not in the same class as the average people before them. Okay, God created us equal for a reason. Okay, and for us to not be treated equally just breaks my heart, man. And a lot of people have either died or went to jail because they weren't treated properly. Okay, I understand why people commit suicide every day. I understand why people get addicted. I understand why people catch cases and end up in the prison system. Okay, I gotta admit though, this system is inherently broken, and I think Elliot Page coming out as trans would make a difference. You know what I'm saying? And think about Eric Adams. He was once a victim of police brutality as a kid growing up, and now he became a cop, and then he became a politician. And guess what? Nobody fucked with him ever since. That's right. Nobody dissed him like they used to because now he got the power. He went from victim to hero, Eric Adams. And if he would have run for mayor, I'd probably vote for him. You know what I'm saying? Better him than that piece of shit Giuliani and Trump and whatever. Them both is racist and them both is genocidal. To me, they're homicidal maniacs. So, Elliot Page, thank you for showing yourself to the world, man. Laverne Cox, thank you for standing up to your enemy. Your friend, too. Y'all both did the right thing. And guess what? Your harasser did not win. Okay? He lost. And now the cops is probably looking for his ass. Because you stood up and fought the powers that be. Think about that Public Enemy song. Fight the power. And so all of you seen Do the Right Thing. Best movie ever made. Best movie of 1989. Okay? I think that it exposed racism in ways it never has. Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, as well as John Singleton's Boys in the Hood. I mean, God rest his soul. That was an even better movie, Boys in the Hood. Because it gave us a dark image of racial inequality and discrimination. Okay, it had a brutal camera lens on its black characters, most notably Billboard, because he was the one that suffered the most, and even Ricky, you know, Boys in the Hood. And you've seen what happened with Trey when he's mistreated by this cop. This cop shoves a gun in his face, and it was just a very fucked up reminder of how black people can be racist towards others, even worse, particularly the correction officers and the cops and everything else. You know, I really think that Black Lives Matter should be respected even better. Okay? It gave us empowerment. It entitled for who he is. He needs and wants acceptance. Okay? That's what he's about. Okay? He to be accepted, that's why he came out. So thank you, Elliot Page. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll still want Elliot. Okay? Because discrimination needs to stop. So thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? And the man in the black mask will be back another time.